Just call me Sunita because today is my birthday.
Happy birthday to Sunita.
Hi everybody, Happy New Year. I wish you nothing but happiness, prosperity, thriving crops, clear paws, unsmashed twigs. I don't really know what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm still not home, and like the filming situation hasn't just not been the best, as you can tell. So I'm just doing what I could do right now. Today we'll be talking about the last 3 books that I read in 2017. So this is going to be like my last wrap up, but instead of 5 books, it's just 3 because my ass couldn't read 5. So as usual, I talk about them in order of my least favorite to favorite. I have a 3-star book, a 4-star book, and a 5-star book. Let's start with the 3-star book, which was Stir It Up by Ramin Ganeshram. So this one is like a little middle grade prepubescent YA, one of those in between type stories about a girl whose name I cannot remember. It's lost like 2017. She is Trinidadian American. She lives in New York, and she lives on that, that part of Queens where it's like all the West Indians. Like, yeah, she lives there. So her family owns a restaurant there called Island Spice, and it specializes in serving Caribbean food and Trinidadian food and Indo-Trinidadian food. Our main protagonist works in her family's restaurant, and she loves it. She loves cooking. She has a passion for cooking, and she wants to pursue cooking as a career. So when she gets an opportunity to audition for a Food Network show, she wants to take it immediately. But the only issue is that it is on the same day, the audition is on the same day as her big exam that she has to do to get into this big fancy school that her parents want her to go to. So she's kind of deciding what to do, and the book is just basically like her struggle between what she wants and what her family wants for her. It was a cute story. It was well written. The characters were very interesting and well fleshed out. My only issue with this book really is that it was extremely short. It was 167 pages, and that wasn't enough to make an impact on me. It focused so much on the story because of that even though the characters were well developed and well presented, I still didn't get enough of them. And at the end of each chapter, there was like 2 or 3 pages consisting of recipes. So like foods mentioned in each chapter, the author would give you the recipes at the end of the chapter, which is helpful. If I want to make aloo pie one day, I don't really have any desires to, I could just go on the road and buy one. But if I want to make an aloo pie, I guess I could turn back to this book. But I mean, it just took up a lot of space. It was less than 167 pages, and I don't know, it was too short, and it read like a novella, like a extended short story. So I couldn't give this more than 3 stars, but it was a good book, and I do recommend it. The next book I read was Love, Hate, and Other Filters by Samira Ahmed, which I gave 4 stars to. I was just scrolling through Twitter one day randomly, just minding everybody's business, and I came across this tweet from Dahlia Adler, and she was like, she's doing a giveaway for Love, Hate, and Other Filters for any Indian Muslim book reviewer, and I was like, not particularly good at being any of those 3 things, but hey! And that's how I ended up getting this book. I think everybody has heard of this book by now. It's been gaining a lot of pre-publication hype. I'm not going to go into too much detail right now because I'm supposed to be doing a review vid. Keyword being supposed to. I read this on the 23rd of December. I still haven't even thought of a review as yet. Life has been busy, okay? So this is a YA contemporary, of course, and it's following a young girl called Maya Aziz, whose parents want her to become a doctor or a lawyer or something, like, Indian parents. And she wants to become a filmmaker. She wants to go to film school, but her parents don't exactly approve of that. They just see it as a hobby. And moreover, this is a story about how she struggles between all of the intersections of who she is, being a Muslim, being American, and being Indian. It produces a conversation about the necessity of young Muslims today to carve out a space for themselves so that they can feel like they belong to their cultures and their identities and their background without feeling these sorts of like contradictions. I don't know if I explained that well, but it's something that I feel every day and that a lot of young people go through all the time, not just Muslim people, but people just across the globe. So I really like this book for that reason. I also liked it because in addition to all of that, what's happening in the background is that we're getting like a third person, very vague perspective from somebody who's going to commit a terrorist attack. The prime suspect of this attack carries the same last name as Maya, and so because of this, her family and her end up facing a lot of stigma from their community. That whole aspect of the book was done really well. The only issue that I had with this was it was very heavy on the romance, which I didn't mind. There was this kind of love triangle thing going on. I know you're thinking, oh my god, I hate that trope. It was actually done really well in this book. I enjoyed it. It was actually kind of cute. Like, if you like YA contemporary and romance and that stuff, this is definitely up your alley. but I just wish it was a bit longer so we could have had more time focusing on the other aspects of this book and other characters and stuff like that. I think I would have definitely enjoyed it a lot more and given it a 5-star rating. That's why I ended up giving it a 4-star rating. So I definitely still highly recommend this book. I wouldn't say go into it with too much high expectations because, as I said, it's been gaining a lot of hype. Just go pick it up. You could pre-order it now. You could put it on hold at your library or just get it when it comes out because it's a great book. Highly recommend it. So the final book that I have to talk about comes with a story, a very frustrating story. You know, from watching people like Kirsty and April, I've been hearing about this one little book called When Michael Met Mina. And I've just been like, oh my god, this book it sounds exactly up my alley. I want to read this book. It sounds amazing. So I have been scouring the internet over the past years. I'm telling you, like, I'm going onto the internet like a headless chicken, just clocking all over all these websites, and I am not finding this book. I went on Amazon, I went on Dimmix. I wouldn't know what Dimmix was had it not been for Australian booktubers. I went on eBay. Like, who goes on eBay? I went on Book Depository. Whenever I put an order into Book Depository, instead of receiving a book, I receive apologetic emails about not receiving my book. So I risked my own finances to try to see if I could get this book there, and I wasn't getting it anyway, only to realize that this book is published in this part of the world as The Lines We Cross. How was I supposed to know this was the same damn book? Anyways, The Lines We Cross, or When Michael Met Mina, is the story of Michael and Mina. It's set in Australia, and Michael is your average all-Australian white boy. You know, I don't know what that means, I just made it up. Michael's parents are very conservative, and they head this organization called Aussie Values. This organization is very anti-immigrant, anti-refugee, and anti-multiculturalism. And Michael grows up with those values taught to him, and it's not that he's indifferent, but he kind of just accepts them and goes with the flow. And then there's Mina, who is originally from Afghanistan but came over to Australia as a refugee, and she's now a teenager the same age as Michael, and they meet, and you can kind of guess what happens after that. So obviously in this book we have immense character development for both Michael and Mina, but different. Michael, in the sense that in meeting Mina and in exposing himself to her experiences, he's starting to unlearn a lot of what his parents taught him. Now, I was kind of concerned going into this book that Mina would be like the manic pixie dream girl who teaches him right from wrong and all of that, and her sole purpose is to make him a better person. But it's nothing like that at all. Michael himself said that he didn't need to change, he just needed to figure out what he stood for. Mina, on the other hand, is also going through quite a lot in this book. She is set in her ways and she's very much set in her beliefs, and Michael doesn't make her change her opinions in any way because she went through a hell of a lot of shit as someone who came over as a refugee. She had a whole bunch of traumatic experience that very much set her in her own perspective. She's still kind of dealing with a lot of the trauma and a lot of the terrible memories of life back in Afghanistan and coming over to Australia, and you see her internal struggles with that in this book and how she kind of copes with that and how she learns to overcome that eventually, and that was just a beautiful story arc as well. Objectively, this book is perfectly written. The dialogue in here is good. It's not awkward. It's not cheesy. Rana Abdel Fattah is an exceptionally talented writer, and I finally know why everybody goes crazy for this woman's books, why her books are so popular and so well received, because she is a good ass writer. In addition to all of the things I just blabbed on about, the family and friendship dynamic in here was just absolutely amazing. I love the friendship between Mina and her best friend Paula, especially. It was so cute and so amazing. Her family was great too. I love her stepdad. He's very precious, but I think where friendships was concerned, Mina's side was a lot more strong on that, but Michael's side was a lot more strong on the family dynamic, because you're seeing him, his younger brother, and his parents as they kind of battle it out and as they kind of try to come to middle grounds with their beliefs. It was really good, like the way that Randa Abdel Fattah presents both sides in an objective way. She's not trying to say that the right wing and the conservative people are bad and all bad and terrible and racist and stuff like that. They are presented in a very moderate and reasonable way, but critiqued in a moderate and reasonable way, and I absolutely love that about this book. It's an incredibly challenging book for, I think, any person to come into, because it forces you to see yourself and your own values within the context of this kind of bigger argument, this kind of bigger discussion, and I absolutely loved it for that reason. It was amazing, and it deserved every single 5 stars that I gave it. If it's one book that you all need to read in 2018 as a recommendation from me, in addition to A Tale for the Time Being, of course, this book is definitely that one. Please, please, please go read it. The Lines We Cross or When Michael Met Mina. And yeah, those are the the last 3 books that I read for the year. I will be doing all of the standard, videos. I'll be doing my least favorite to favorite books of the year. I'm going to do them all in one video because I only read a few books this year. So I'll just talk about all of them in one video. I will probably do the most anticipated releases for 2018. I'm not going to do any kind of reading goals because I don't have goals. I'm not a very goal-oriented person. I'm a food-oriented person. Anyways, that's it for this wrap-up. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave your thoughts on any of these books if you read them in the comments down below. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, and until next time, inshallah, keep reading.